All right, so today we're diving into something that's been like absolutely exploding in popularity lately,
Definitely has been.
especially it seems with seniors, and that's pickleball.
Pickleball, yeah.
Fun, social, and, a great way to stay active. But what if I told you that pickleball could also be like a secret weapon for sharpening your mind?
That's right. It's more than just, physical exercise. It's really a mental workout as well.
Intriguing, right? So how does this all work?
Well, that's where the reticular activating system or the RAS comes in.
Right.
Think of it as your brain's very own spotlight, helping you to focus on what's important amidst all the chaos of life, but especially on the pickleball court.
I'm picturing like a tiny little spotlight in my brain now.
Exactly, exactly. It's
Oh.
there.
But how does this connect to like a fast-paced game like pickleball?
Okay, well, imagine you're on the court. The ball's flying back and forth, your opponents are moving, maybe there are distractions off the court, people talking, dogs barking, whatever it might be. Your RAS helps you tune out all that noise and zero in on what truly matters.
Yeah.
The ball's trajectory, your opponent's next move, and, where you need to be positioned.
So it's like our brain is constantly sifting through all this information, all this stimulus, and like deciding what deserves our attention.
You got it. Exactly. It's like a personal assistant for your brain. It filters out all the irrelevant stuff and highlights what needs your immediate focus.
Okay.
And in a game like pickleball, where split-second decisions are crucial, a well-trained RAS can be, a total game changer.
Okay. I'm really curious now, but before we like delve into the brain training, let's talk pickleball basics.
Okay, sounds good.
Just for someone who's listening who might not be familiar, and convince me, that this isn't just tennis for seniors.
It's funny you should say that because you hear that a lot, right? But it's so much more than that.
Okay.
The smaller court size means there's less running around, for sure, which is great, but it also demands really quick reflexes and strategic thinking.
Okay.
You've got to be on your toes. And also, the unique rules, like the double bounce rule, they actually encourage focus right from the start.
The double bounce rule. Now, isn't that the one where the ball has to bounce twice before you can volley it?
Yes, exactly.
Which seems like a little counterintuitive to me when I first heard about that.
It might seem odd at first, but think about it.
Yeah.
For new players, it forces them to really slow down, observe the ball's trajectory, and, plan their shots more carefully. It's almost like a built-in focus training exercise.
That's really interesting. I never thought about it that way. And what about the kitchen? That non-volley zone near the net. I've heard that could be kind of confusing for beginners as well.
Right.
It's like, why can't I just, hit it?
Yeah. Well, the kitchen is actually, I think, brilliant for developing spatial awareness and disciplined movement. Instead of just rushing the net, players have to be a lot more strategic with their positioning, their shot selection. And again, it's another example of how pickleball kind of subtly trains your focus without you even realizing it.
So it's almost like the game itself is designed to sharpen your mental game.
I think so, yes.
But let's get back to this RAS thing. I'm very interested now to learn more. Can you explain it to me? Maybe like I'm 5 years old.
Okay, all right. Imagine you're at a crowded party and everyone's talking at once and it's like completely overwhelming, right? But then suddenly you hear someone mention your name.
Yeah,
Your ears perk up instantly.
absolutely.
That's your RAS in action, filtering through all that noise and zeroing in on what's personally relevant to you.
That makes total sense. So it's not just about pickleball. It's about how our brains prioritize information in any situation.
Exactly. It's happening all the time.
Okay. But how do we actually train our RAS to become better pickleball players?
Good question.
Is there a mental workout we can do for our brains?
There is. There really is. And the source material that you provided suggests some great exercises.
Okay.
One is called ball bounce tracking.
Ball bounce tracking. Okay. Sounds simple enough. What's the science behind that?
It's all about training your visual focus. So you're simply bouncing the ball on your paddle and keeping your eyes locked on it. And by doing that, you're actually strengthening your RAS's ability to focus on a single visual cue, which of course is really crucial in pickleball.
So we're like teaching our RAS what to prioritize when we're on the court.
Exactly.
What other exercises are there?
Another great one is partner tosses.
Okay.
So you have a partner toss the ball to you in different directions.
Okay.
And your job is to not just catch it, but to actually call out a detail on the ball, maybe the color or the brand name, before you catch it. And that trains your RAS to filter out distractions and hone in on specific details.
Okay, so we're basically teaching our RAS to zero in on the ball and ignore those distractions.
Yeah.
But what about staying focused, like during a match?
Yeah.
When the pressure's on and the adrenaline's pumping,
Sure.
how do we keep that focus?
That's where selective attention comes in. It's like giving your RAS laser focus.
Okay.
And one simple technique is to choose a single focus point before each serve.
Okay.
It could be something like the ball seams or a spot on your opponent's paddle.
So instead of trying to pay attention to everything at once,
Right.
I'm picking one key detail and that's my focus. Does that really work?
It really does. By consistently bringing your attention back to that one point, you're training your RAS to filter out all the other distractions. It's like creating, tunnel vision for your brain, allowing you to stay laser focused on what matters most in that moment.
Wow. That's a really powerful image.
Hmm.
But let's be honest, staying mentally present is easier said than done,
For sure.
especially, during a heated match.
Mm.
Are there any tricks for keeping that focus when things start to get a little intense?
Yeah, and that's where mindfulness techniques come in handy. Something as simple as just like consciously noticing your breath.
Okay.
That can actually act as an anchor, bringing you back to the present moment. And, don't underestimate the power of positive self-talk either. A lot of times we get in our own way on the court with negative self-talk.
Yeah, for sure.
And instead of letting those negative thoughts spiral, try replacing them with some positive affirmations,
Right.
things like steady or eyes on the ball.
Okay.
And what you're doing there is you're essentially feeding your RAS positive instructions,
Gotcha.
which helps to maintain that focus and composure.
So I can actually reprogram my RAS with positive self-talk.
You absolutely can, yes.
That's like giving my brain a pep talk
That's a great way to put it.
during the game. But how does all this mental training, how does it translate to, actual on-court performance?
Yeah.
I get the focus part, but how does it actually help me, hit the ball better, predict my opponent's moves, all that?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because a sharper focus directly impacts your ability to read the game.
Okay.
It's not just about seeing the ball,
Yeah.
It's about anticipating where it's going.
Right.
Which is crucial in pickleball with its fast rallies and angles.
So it's like developing a sixth sense almost for the game.
With a trained RAS, you'll start picking up on these subtle cues in your opponent's swing paddle angle, even their body position.
Wow.
And all these cues become like a language almost,
Yeah.
telling you what to expect before the ball even comes over the net.
So it's not just reaction, it's anticipation.
Precisely.
Wow.
Your brain is processing information more efficiently, which allows you to make those split-second decisions that can make all the difference in a rally.
Okay, so I'm reading the ball better. I'm anticipating my opponent's moves.
Yes.
What about those moments, though, when I just, completely lose focus or get distracted by, something off the court?
Yeah.
How do I get back in the zone?
Yeah, that happens, right?
Yeah, all the time.
And that's where those mindfulness techniques that we talked about earlier can really come into play.
Okay.
A deep breath can work wonders.
Okay.
Just bringing your attention back to the present moment.
Right.
Or you could use a sensory cue, like just feeling your feet on the ground or the grip of the paddle in your hand.
Yeah.
And these act as anchors, kind of pulling your focus back to the game.
So it's like hitting the reset button on my brain.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
It's about recognizing when your mind has wandered and then just gently guiding it back to where it needs to be.
Okay.
And remember, this is a skill that takes practice, just like any other aspect of pickleball.
Of course, yeah.
Or anything in life.
Yeah, so it's not about being perfect.
Right.
It's about developing that mental resilience
Right.
to refocus when, distractions inevitably pop up.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see how this all ties together now.
Good.
It's really fascinating.
And the best part is that all these mental skills that you're developing on the pickleball court,
Yeah.
they're transferable
Okay.
to other areas of your life,
Wait a minute.
that improve focus, decision-making, adaptability.
Mhm.
You can use those in your work, your relationships, anywhere, really.
It's like pickleball is training my brain
I think so.
for life
Yeah, I like that.
in general.
Absolutely.
But let's not forget, pickleball is at its core a physical game.
For sure.
How does, staying physically fit, how does that contribute to our mental sharpness on the court?
Well, it's all about having a solid foundation, right?
Yeah.
So regular exercise it improves blood flow to the brain, which boosts cognitive function, you know?
Makes sense.
It also helps with energy levels and stamina, so you're not, getting mentally fatigued during those long matches.
So a healthy body supports a healthy mind,
Yes.
which in turn enhances our pickleball game. It's all connected.
It really is. It all works together.
And it's not just about, intense workouts either.
No.
Even something as simple as walking or light stretching can make a difference in our physical and mental preparedness for pickleball.
Absolutely. Yeah, getting that blood flowing is key.
Okay, all this talk about mental training and physical fitness is making me want to grab a paddle and hit the court right now.
I know, me too.
But before we wrap up, I want to ask about the social side of pickleball.
Okay.
Because everyone talks about the amazing community.
Yeah.
How does that factor into the mental game?
Well, the social aspect is huge. The camaraderie, the laughter, the friendly competition, it creates such a positive and supportive environment, which can just do wonders for your mental well-being, I think.
Absolutely.
It's not just about winning or losing. It's about connecting with others who share your passion for the game.
So there's like a built-in support system.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
And that sense of belonging can boost your mood, reduce stress, and even, motivate you to keep playing and keep improving.
This deep dive it's been absolutely fascinating.
It's been fun, yeah.
I feel like I've gained a whole new understanding of not just pickleball, but just the incredible power of the mind.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
But before we let our listeners go,
Yes?
I want to leave them with a final thought.
Okay.
Now that you know about the RAS and its ability to shape your focus and actions,
Yeah.
what's one thing that you're going to pay more attention to, both on and off the pickleball court?
That is a great question. It really is. And, it makes me think about how much of our daily experience is shaped by, what we choose to focus on.
Yeah.
So for me, it's about being more intentional with my attention, I think.
Oh.
Noticing those, small moments of joy, really listening when someone's talking to me, appreciating the beauty around me. Those are the things I want my RAS spotlight to highlight.
Beautiful. It's like you're training your brain to focus on the positive.
Exactly. And I think, it's something we can all do, whether we're, on the pickleball court or just going about our day.
This has been an incredible conversation. Really, I feel like I've learned so much about pickleball, the RAS, and just, that connection between a healthy mind and body. But before we let our listeners go, I know there are some out there who are eager to get started with pickleball, but maybe feel a little intimidated.
Sure, I can understand that.
So what advice would you give to someone who's, brand new to the game?
Well, I'd say, first and foremost, don't be afraid to just jump in.
Really?
Pickleball is a very welcoming sport, and most communities are incredibly supportive of beginners.
Right.
So, find a local club or group.
Yeah.
Take an introductory lesson and just start playing.
So find your pickleball tribe.
Exactly.
What about equipment?
Okay.
Do you need to, invest in all the fancy gear right away?
Not at all.
Okay.
Most places have paddles you can borrow, so, you can kind of get a feel for the game before you commit to a purchase. And when you are ready to buy your own paddle, there are plenty of affordable options out there.
Okay.
So don't get caught up in the hype of having the latest and greatest equipment.
Yeah.
Just focus on finding something that's comfortable and fun for you to play with.
So no need to break the bank to get started.
No, definitely not.
That's great. That's great to hear. What about the rules? I know there's some unique rules in pickleball. Any tips for getting up to speed quickly on those?
Yeah, well, the USA Pickleball Association website is a great resource
Right.
for rules, equipment, recommendations, all things pickleball, really.
Right.
They even have a handy app you can download.
Oh, wow.
And of course, don't hesitate to ask fellow players for clarification. Most people are really happy to help, and kind of explain things.
So basically just embrace the learning curve.
Yes.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Exactly. And most importantly, remember to have fun.
Right.
It's a game, after all.
It is a game. That's a great point. This has been such an inspiring deep dive. I'm feeling motivated to not only improve my pickleball game, but also to apply these principles of focus and mindfulness to, all areas of my life.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest takeaway from all of this. Whether you're a seasoned pickleball player or just starting out, the lessons that you learn on the court can really have a profound impact on your overall well-being.
So it's about It's about more than just, winning or losing a game.
Yes.
It's about cultivating a mindset that can benefit us in all aspects of life.
Beautifully said. I like that. Well, that wraps up this episode of The Deep Dive. We hope you enjoyed this exploration of pickleball, the reticular activating system, and the power of a focused mind. Don't forget to check out the book, Pickleball for Seniors, Mastering the Game with Focus and Confidence, for even more insights, and you can find a link to that in the show notes. Until next time, stay curious and keep diving deep.